So you've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about becoming an owner operator and you are finally ready to pull the trigger. Wait. Not just yet. Watch these videos and we will talk about some of the negative things that you would run into as a new authority in trucking.
Never at ease, I don't know a limit. Chasing a dream, I don't know what sleep is. I got a queen, she lit me the evening. She ripe like a peach and she snapped me the snippet. We well overdue for that link up in person. Text me to fall through a murder, she wrote it. Still up with courage, you're doing a service. Pull up to the crib, I'm equipped with the brush strokes. Cutthroat from the low, where no love goes. Women buddy.
So how's the truck running? You know what, man? I'm real happy with this truck. I know I was doing some complaining when we were trying to get her ready, but I'm really happy with this truck. It's it's definitely has been performing. Close fingers. So also on that last video, right? If you haven't seen that, I'm gonna link it right here. Anyway, I talked about how much I don't think I talked about it specifically. I said I'll get back to you guys as far as like the calculations and stuff, and I did run some numbers. And well, I already ran numbers and I forgot to mention it, included in the video. But anyway, what that was is like, instead of 225, I believe I said, a mile is what you're actually making. That's not true. That's not entirely true. I was calculating it or adding it into the per mile, but in all reality, it's just on fuel is what we're saving. So we're not gonna be running 225. We're still gonna be running $1.85, but we're gonna be saving like around $230 in fuel. That's it. Okay, just to clarify that. I know it's gonna get loud, but I've been hearing a tap. I'm trying to see if you guys can hear it. Now, it's like, there it is. I can only hear it at a certain angle. So I think it might be one of the plumbing on, like, say the CAC. The tap almost sounds like that's why I'm thinking it might be exhaust leak or something like that. I'm not feeling a shake on the truck itself, so I don't think it's missing. I mean, like, it's a big engine, right? You're gonna if it was some kind of miss, like if it's only on one cylinder, you're probably not gonna feel it either way. But like, it's so hard to pinpoint it though. It's just a really slight tap. It's like, but it's so hard to find it. So we might have to plug her in and see. I don't think it's anything serious. I really don't. As a matter of fact, I haven't done overhead on this, so I might have to just do overhead and then start from there. He's running good though. I didn't see the point of running an overhead. So someone in a comment called me like this guy talks like he's the engine whisperer or something like that. Believe it or not, that could possibly be it, man. I hear some of the things that this engine is talking to me about. See, that's the thing. Like, I've said it before too. It's like, you have to know and you have to listen and pay attention to your engine. It will tell you. It will talk to you. You know what I mean? It's not like, talking to you literally, but it will talk to you. I did hit a freaking rock on the way here, and there it is. What do y'all do to fix that? So the number one issue that you're gonna run into as a new owner operator or a new authority is that, yes, you're gonna get denied a lot. You're gonna get denied so many times that you're gonna get discouraged. People ask me all the time, hey, what do you do when you get rejected? Man, listen, just go call another one and ask them for another load. You call everything. You call every lead. Don't never just be like, man, they probably gonna say no to me. That's okay. They all they can do is say no when you ask. So always call, always ask, and see if you can pull that load for them. Just me, I just don't ever alleviate too much from just because you're getting a lot of rejects. Don't ever alleviate too much from the rate that you set that you're gonna haul for, based on the location that you're gonna go and things like that. Okay, don't ever alleviate from that rate. Just always stay on that rate, and don't get discouraged because of the fact that you're getting so many no's. A lot of people would say no, trust me, but that's okay. There's a lot of people would say yes as well. So we're in another power only load. This is another empty move, and this doggone thing ain't got no plate in it. We're gonna have to go check paperwork, see what's in there. Okay, it's empty. So KLLM 270. Check all your lights. Of course, you got to check the tires, the brakes, and all of that. Also, when you're doing power only, I haven't had that issue yet, except for maybe I heard some nightmares about TQL. Is that always, it doesn't matter whose trailer it is or who you're pulling it for, always take pictures. Take pictures of the damages on that trailer, and then you send them up to, what I usually do is I send them with where the email thread on the rate con, everything has to be, it all has to be notated on there, all of that. See that? You gotta make sure you take all them pictures. Don't ever say, be like, oh man, these guys are pretty cool or whatever, right? Look at that. See? But they could come back on you, could bite you in the butt, Look at that. I don't know why these people are freaking hitting this door so bad. That's crazy. Like, look at that. I think they're hitting corners, man. So make sure you notate everything. Even that tire has like uneven wear on it. That one too. So make sure you inspect it all. Not only that you're checking it, make sure it's DOT compliance for the road. You still gotta check it, make sure all the damages are annotated, just so they can't come at you at a later date and be like, you know what, that driver damaged our trailer. Man, it has taken a long time to make this vlog. Oh, take a look at this guy. Ooh, take a look. Look at this guy. He got a nice little, trailer matching his truck. Very nice, very nice. I like it. Very nice of you, sir. Okay, so rejections, right? Do not get discouraged based on the rejections. I know, I can see that, your morale could easily go down because of rejections. Therefore, you're gonna start going, to, because I mean everybody has to pay their bills, right? We understand, and you're gonna start going into like TQL and TQL. The thing about TQL is like the majority of their load, I would say 99% of their load are straight garbage. And that's what TQL do. They're predator about towards new authority. And they take advantage of that. You know what I mean? So they just go by the numbers. Like they, I don't know, like I think maybe they're just outbidding everyone, and then be like, you know what, if we can send 10 carriers down there, and then one or two of them are successful, we're okay. You know what I mean? And then and that's the thing, is like, the trucking industry, you got people coming in all the time, new people coming in all the time, So, but TQL is really, what I see with TQL, they're infamous for that. But I would still pull for them, though. You got to be a little bit more careful with them, pulling for them. It's just, which brings me to another point, right? The next point that I see in regards to power only, or even as a new authority, is that you are treated like a bastard child. What I mean by that is that they see that you're new, and what I see a lot of times is that they see that they're new, therefore they think they can actually, you would actually not know the market, and you would pull a lot less desirable rate. It's like specifically going into a hot market or going into a dead zone. That's where I think they make a lot of their money, believe it or not. Like let's say you're out of Atlanta, okay? We're in the Alabama area right now, but let's say you're out of Atlanta, and then you're like, you know what, man, this Florida load looks good. It's paying $3 a mile. I haven't seen anything that's paying $3 a mile, and boom, they got you if you went to Florida with that load, because they there's no load coming out of there. That's why. So you're gonna be probably deadheading a good portion of the miles, where depending on where you are in Florida or where you drop off in Florida. Another point that you are treated like a bastard child is that, like, a lot of these people that deal with new brokers, right? They they the way they treat you as a business partner, because that's what you are, right? You work together, right? You and the broker work together as a team. You you're not anybody's boss, or you're not anybody's freaking employee. You know what I mean? And what I've seen a lot do pulling power only is that, I don't know why the topic of this is supposed to be new authority, but the thing is, like, the reason why I'm also emphasizing your power only, because most of your new authority are gonna be power only, okay? But anyway, so um, you get a lot of these brokers. They'll start telling you things. They'll start telling you things like directing you almost, instead of, you know what I mean, instead of uh, giving you, what do you call it, set of instructions, and then you follow those set instructions. They're basically telling you what, this is how I feel. Okay, so I done I had a I was when I was doing flatbed, when I had a flatbed trailer doing flatbed, I never had this experience. But basically what I'm saying is, like, okay, I had a broker the other day that said uh, they wanted a seal on an empty trailer. I understand why they wanted a seal on an empty trailer because probably a previous freaking carrier tried to put a load on it. Okay, so they wanted a seal on there. Okay, cool. Now, on their instruction says that make sure you seal it before you leave. Now, if you've done van before, or even like reefer, when you hear something like that, and you're like, oh, you know what? They're gonna have a seal over there, right? I mean, that only makes sense, right? Because no, also another thing is, like, they did not specify to bring a seal with me, okay? And how many of y'all, comment down below, how many of you carrying a seal right now? There's not gonna be very many. There's gonna be some. There's not gonna be very many. But how many of you? Okay, okay. How about this? How many of you actually carry a seal for the purpose of, just in case you need a seal? Not very many, right? Okay. Anyway, so that's what happened, right? So I went to go pick up this trailer, and then they, like I said, on the set of instructions, it says on the note, on the rate con, it said that make sure you is sealed before you leave. Okay, so I get there, did my thing, and inspected the trailer. Trailer's good to go, and then I ask the shipper for a seal. They're like, it's an empty trailer. Why do you need to seal it? you know, and I asked the same thing, but I already knew why they seal it. And then I was like, well, that's what they're requiring me to have, to do. And they were like, well, we don't have seals over here. So anyway, I communicated this to the broker, and then we were communicating back and forth. He's like, yeah, you gotta have a seal before you leave. I was like, well, if you told me to pick up a seal before I got here, it would have been fine. And then he was like, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you on this. It's notated on when you got the rate con. I was like, listen, it says on there, make sure it's sealed before you leave the shipper. It did not specifically tell me to bring a seal with me. So, and he was like, and then I was getting heated, right? And then he was like, okay, man. And then I told him, listen, man, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but when I have specific instructions, I follow them. And that's what I did. I followed the specific instructions, and I read the instructions on what needed to be done to get this load picked up. that's what I did. And it did not specifically tell me to bring a freaking seal with me. What are you talking about? And he can tell like I am getting heated. And then he was like, okay, okay, why don't we do this? And this is when it's like, okay, why don't we do this? Okay, that's fine, right? Now you're not commanding me. Now we're trying to resolve an issue, okay? And then he was like, why don't you just go ahead and take off? And then when your very next truck stop, you buy you a seal and put a seal on there, and then send me a picture, please. Sounds more like it, man, right? That is working as a team. That's not, me being treated like an employee, because I am not. We run this whole thing. I mean, we are only half of a truck or of a trucking company, but we still own this whole thing. We're not bind by, somebody's freaking rules and guidance, except for our own, except for maybe following the DOT guidelines and FMCSA guidelines. That's about it. I talk too much, man, on these vlogs, man. I don't. If I got something in my teeth, I apologize. I'm not redoing this video. But oh man, it's just that it it's so frustrating sometimes, and that's why, and I have run into a lot of these little issues like this. And you're gonna run into a lot of little issues in trucking, but I ran into a lot less issues when I was doing flatbed, and when I had my own trailer. You know what I mean? So it's very frustrating at times, and you get I said, man, listen, if you've been, I think somebody had commented they've been doing power only for 2 years. If you're doing power only and then you're working on the load board as a power only for 2 years, man, I commend you for real. We're on the seventh week now, right? Yeah, we're doing it for seventh week now. I mean, we haven't been doing it 7 weeks in a row, but um, we're on it for seventh week now, and boy, I'll tell you, I am stressed. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very stressed. I know I said negative things, but it's really not negative, man. It's more like you get a lot of setbacks as a new authority, and even as a power only, you get even more setbacks. And that's why, like, I commend you if you've been doing power only for a while, and you're doing it and still doing it, and you're doing it, you know what I mean, with a smile in your face, man. I commend you for real. I'm not even kidding. So, but what else? There's That's just the two major things I do see is that they the rejections. Number one is the rejections, and then number two is the um, what do you call it? The you Most of the loads that you do as a new authority slash power only is you are treated like a bastard child. Now, another thing that's I thought was crazy is like we've been around since early 2021. Our authority has been activated since early 2021. Now, when you when you inactive or involuntarily revoke your authority, which I thought I was doing the right thing, right? Well, ain't nobody telling you this anyway. Learn from me. When you involuntarily or voluntarily revoke your authority and then reactivate it back up, guess what? The authority time starts over again. So it's like your new authority again. It doesn't matter. You're like new authority again. Check that out. I just found me a gold mine. You know what I'm gonna do with that? Yeah, to protect my straps or chains or whatever. So the setbacks is a new authority in all of this, right? Would I still recommend? Absolutely, I would still recommend to open your own authority. Man, let me tell you, there's no best feeling in the world. Look at us, we're just sitting around doing nothing, right? I mean, it's just because the only thing about the reason why I would say you got to be more cautious is that you got to be a little bit more independent, and you got to be a go-getter. You cannot just be sitting around and doing things. There's times that you got to make decisions that you're not gonna be able to make as a freaking us leased on to somebody or whatever, right? It's just that's what I like about it, man. It's complete, total freedom. And there's nothing wrong with being leased on with somebody or whatever. It's just or being a company driver. It's just me. I i have set foot into this world, and I love doing what I do now. Like I said, it's just you get so much more freedom, and you dictate what you should and should not be doing, you know. And that's the thing. That's another thing. It's like the failure is gonna be all on you. You know, if you were to fail, if you were to succeed, it's gonna be all on you. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna end this video here. That's some of the negative things that I see as a new authority. You know, when I first started, I did not have this much issues back in 2021 because brokers are a little bit more lenient back then because of the fact that, you know, we needed drivers on the road, we needed owner operators, they needed load picked up, you know, so it was a little bit more lenient. This time around, I can feel that. I am feeling that, you know, those difficulties and those challenges, you know. And for me, it's actually a good thing because here's another thing. It's like if you have already set up with a broker and you revoke your authority and you reactivated your authority, that particular broker will work with you even if they had requirements because you're already set up in their system. That's the thing. That's the key to it. They're setting you up in their system. You know, there's a lot of these brokers. Man, it just keeps going on and on and on. So a lot of these brokers, they all work in automated, right? Everything is automated. Therefore, if a certain variables or criteria are not met based on the age of your authority, you cannot get set up with them, and that's not a broker call. They cannot do nothing about that. You know, a lot of them, they're just sub brokers brokering for another brokerage. You know what I mean? It's a whole world, man. I'm telling you. I don't even I barely got any grasp of that. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're gonna end this video here. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we got some exciting news. We will see y'all in the next video.